My name's Steve Sayler. I'm running for State Board of Education because I got angry at the Judson ISD School District. I ran for board, got elected. After I got elected, I realized that the influence the State Board of Education, U.S. Department of Education, and Texas Education Agency has on your local school district. A couple of things when I'm really running. First of all, the State Board of Education spent $2 billion of the money out of the Texas School Fund on textbooks in the last 5 years. $2 billion. Folks, it's 2012. Why doesn't every kid in Texas have an iPod, a laptop, some sort of digital device? Kids are digital learners. I can tell you in Judson, our third graders have iPads, and something amazing has happened. All our test scores in science, math, and reading have went through the ceiling on our mid-year scores. But we did something smart, okay? Technology isn't in and of itself a great thing. We have all our kids journal. You can't get a piece of paper and put it out in front of a kid and say, write something. What are they going to do? They're going to go, duh. Put them on an iPad for 30 minutes. Then give them a journal every day and write. Amazing things happen. Spelling, grammar, understanding literature goes through the sky. We have got to fix the technology in our schools. How do you expect a child to use the technology of tomorrow if they don't use the technology of today? The other thing I'm very passionate about is reading. We have got to fix the reading curriculum in our elementary schools. You can track dropout rates all the way from fourth grade all the way through on fourth grade reading levels. Let me tell you this little secret here too. One of the formulas we can use in this state or any other state to predict how many prison cells we need in any state in 5 years. You know what that is? Fourth grade reading levels and demographics, 8th grade males, Afro-American, Hispanic, and Anglo. Why? 80% of our prisons right now do not read and write on the 5th grade level. We got to fix that. The other thing I'm passionate about is we have got to ensure that the technology funds are used in the right way that come from the permanent school fund. Those new funds in the Senate Bill 6 allow schools local choice on how they spend those funds. Local technology. So I'm getting a sign here, so I'm going to close. So my name is Steve Sayler. I'm running for State Board of Education, and I got 30 seconds. My name is Steve Sayler. I'm running for State Board of Education, District 5. I appreciate your support, and I ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
Your next candidate is Ken Mercer.
Thank you. I'm Ken Mercer, and Frank Bucket would shoot me. The law number one, always introduce your wife. It's my wife, Rosie Mercer. My name is Ken Mercer. I'm one of the conservatives at State Board of Education, and yes, I'm one of the ones the far left loves to hate because of my documented battles on issues with the far left and the fights we've had. I never would have guessed I'd be so honored and humbled to be in shows like Fox Morning News, Fox National News, James Dobson's Focus on the Family, wall builders that talk about fighting the far left in Texas. And I've often asked Mr. Mercer, what have you learned about the far left in Texas? You ready for this? We've learned that the far left is scared to death of a place called Texas. Now, I get attacked by so many of the far left, but also some of my own party, because you failed to always go with the experts. You failed to rubber stamp the experts. Let me have you be in my seat. What would you do? The first draft of the elementary school standards for American history, the first draft we had, the experts came forward and deleted Veterans Day, Independence Day. And I asked them why, so that's covered in kindergarten. I said, well, how many of you agree with me that our kids should learn about Veterans Day, Independence Day every year, kindergarten and 12th grade, and as age appropriate, learn more and more about the sacrifices made by those who made our country great. That's the first of the ideology of the far left and their road plan. And by the way, everything I tell you, don't listen to me. Go online. The documents are side by side. The agendas are out there. You can listen to the tapes. You can watch the audio stream viewing. They came back, and the next thing was the word patriot. They didn't like the Liberty Bell as a symbol of patriotism. They had a concern about the word patriot. They said, after all, what does that mean nowadays? Well, conservatives that you elected had the backbone and courage to stand up. Independence Day, Veterans Day, Liberty Bell, the word patriotism is now kindergarten and 12th grade. It's out there, and it should be. Probably the most famous example I've heard was our kids learn the major holidays and major religions. Here in South America, as you know, it's Christianity were the major holidays. The far left came back, and as you know, they actually recommended to delete Christmas. as a holiday, the major religion, and Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year holiday. We had to fight that, again, vote against the quote experts. But probably the biggest example, and members of the House and Senate should be glad for this, but I found the very last day, it was May of last year, we missed it. They had successfully deleted free market, free enterprise from kindergarten to 12th grade, including economics and government class. Deleted it. I brought forth that motion and restored it, holding up Texas law, where our kids would learn about the free market, because I believe that our kids should learn it's not the government that creates jobs, it's the free enterprise that creates jobs in a place called. That's my wife Rosie. And second thing, remember, the far left is scared to death of a place called.
We'll now begin with questions. You'll have 2 minutes to answer each question, and you'll have an opportunity for a 30-second response if you deem necessary. First question. The State Board of Education is currently reviewing charter schools. What is your philosophy regarding school choice in the charter schools in particular, and how would you implement your vision? Ken Mercer first.
Well, actually, this year I actually became the statewide chairman of what's called Curriculum and Charter Schools, which handle all the military reservations and the charter schools. And I'm asking the commissioner, I said, what can we do to make sure that we have the tightest rules in Texas? I think we need to tighten the rules. But charter schools, you have to understand, they have the same standards. And I've been to some of the educational groups, and there's this information. They have the same standards, the same testing we have. They have zero tax base. They have to go out there and compete for government grants and new facilities. They don't get a tax base to go against. And they also get about $1,500 less per child. It's very prominent in inner schools, where inner school families are finally offered a charter choice. If they want to go to maybe a medical curriculum, or business curriculum, or communication arts curriculum, they have programs out there. And really what that is, the Republican philosophy on our Republican platform, is the first step, especially in inner schools, of choice for kids. Again, I stress, because the education establishment put out this information, they have to take the same test we have. They have no tax base. They cannot build a school and say, we got 1,000 new homes, we're getting $3,000 a year tax. They can't do that. And they get about $1,500 less per kid. They have government grants, or not government grants, national grants like the Walton Foundation, they compete for against public schools, and they are considered public school, by the way. So that's the charter philosophy in Texas. I'm new to that. I've been watching the last 4 years, and I've been engrossed by it because it's part of our platform, and especially in the inner city, it gives choice to our children. Thank you.
Charter schools, like everything else, there's good and bad. Let me give you an example of an excellent charter school. The Idea School is out of the valley. The Idea School is actually taken over David Robinson's Carver Academy. I have a problem with that. You know why? The U.S. Department of Education has gave the Idea School system $17 million in the last 5 years. Now, I'm the Judson School District down in Judson, in Bear County. We had to cut $9 million out of my school district. We had to cut 187 teachers. I'll make a deal with you. Let's take that $17 million, I'll split it with Wimberley and Judson, and let's see what we can do in charter schools. Charter schools are poorly regulated. You don't even have to have a college degree to teach in a charter school. They are the most unregulated schools in the state of Texas. When I'm on State Board of Education, we're going to tighten up the regulation of charter schools. What Ken said is true. They have to take the same test, but they don't have to have the same qualification to teach in a charter school. Thank you.
An important component of the job of a member of the State Board of Education is to manage the permanent school fund. What experience do you have in financial management? We'll begin with Steve Sayler.
I have an MBA from Boston University. I know it's in the north, but that's where the Army sent me, and I went there. I'm also, like I said, I'm the Judson School District. Judson is a $212 million a year corporation. I have 23,000 students and 3,000 employees. Now, we're going to start in the budget for next year right now. You have to have an understanding of all the working components of the school district. 80% of your budget, the $212 million at Judson, is payroll. You have to know about people and personnel and how to keep teachers in the classroom. You also have to know how to buy buses. You also have to know how to buy fuel for those buses. And you also have to need to know how to fix 30,000 to 40,000 meals every day. As far as financial management, I'm not a business owner. I'm an emergency medicine physician assistant by training. I work at Brooke Army Medical Center. I run the acute pain service. I take care of all the wounded warriors that come back from Iraq and Afghanistan. But the other side of it, the Judson, if you can run a school district, you can run a permanent school fund. Thank you.
One quick rebuttal on charter schools. On the committee, I know one thing I love about charters, we can close charter schools. You come forth, you have 3 years to prove yourself. And when I've worked with the commissioner, I've actually gone to schools, you're not doing your job, you're not getting graduation rates, you're not putting kids in college, you lose your charter. That often makes news because the bad schools, we're allowed to close bad schools. Let me tell you something, what would you think would happen in the inner city school? If you walk in there and say, hey, you've had 3 years of bad rates, and we pull them out. It hasn't happened. I would love to have that same conditions we have in charter schools in many of our inner city public schools. Where you're not performing, we can turn you over and start over again and put new faculty, new staff in there. The PSF fund, Permanent School Fund, is called the Children's Fund. Our founding fathers set it up so that we can make sure that we have that our kids forever would get free textbooks, or as the legislature, free technology, whatever they want to use, instructional materials. I've been in that board for 4 years, and I know the biggest fight I had was with some Republicans. That money is meant for the children. The law says we're supposed to take the interest of that, grow the fund, and use it to provide free instructional materials for all 4.8 million kids. The last term, I had to fight Republicans, certain Republicans, who actually came out and they wanted to raid $3 billion, not interest, of the principal of the Children's Fund, to put it somewhere else for a one-time fix. So that's my experience. I also have an MBA in finance at St. Mary's University, but on the ground fighting against Democrats and actually lying with some Republicans to take away the money from the children. It's bad policy. It's bad public policy to go and take a fund dedicated for our kids and say, we're going to do a one-time raid of the fund and take $3 billion for the fund, take it for a one-time fix in 2012. That's what you're hearing about downtown Austin. That's the protest down there. I fight that. That is your children's fund. That is your grandchildren's fund. It's called the Permanent School Fund, the Children's Fund of Texas. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your candidates for State Board of Education, District 5, Ken Mercer,